Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. In this video we are going to assign a effect to our game and also make the flow a little bit smoother. So let's get started. The first thing we are going to do is make sure that we give the user some time to register that the level has ended before restarting it so that the effect is not very jarring. So let's open the balloon bursters script where we have the load scene manager. The way we are going to do this is by using invoke. We will use invoke to add a delay, and we'll be using name of function. Make sure that you're not making an error in the name of the function. So let's use name of, and we need the name of our function, which is going to be reload underscore scene. I'm going to start using underscore because that's what I used to do earlier when I used to code, used to learn coding rather. Now that we have the invoke, let's create the function by creating a private void method reload underscore scene. And now let's define this method, and it will only contain for now the scene manager. Alright, great. So this should work. Let's check it out. Go to simulator, click on play. Let's burst the balloon. Okay, perfect. Yeah, after half a second the scene is reloading, which is exactly what we wanted. Next we want to add some special effects. To add special effects, you click on effects, particle system, but we will have to do it a little bit differently because we want to add the burst effect onto our balloon buster code, which is associated with our prefab arrow. So go ahead and open the arrow prefab. You'll see here the hierarchy change on the top left. Here we are going to create effects, particle system, and we are going to call it burst effect. Now let's start designing the burst effect. You can see that there is already some effect coming out from the arrow, shooting everywhere, but that's not what I want. I want it to be spherical. Like you can see it's conical right now, so let's change the emission shape from cone to a sphere. Okay, great. Next thing is that you might have an outline on these. I already turned it off for me, so locate gizmo, and here you see select outline. So if you want to turn it off, simply uncheck it and you will have something like this. Now let's go through these values. Let's see how this works. Like it's associated with the arrow. I ideally would have wanted it to be associated with the balloon. So let's see how this works. Okay, so I want the position is a minus. Let me just move it a little bit to the right. Yeah, okay, great. Now the duration is the time for which we have these particles being emitted. 5 is way too much. Our screen is going to reload in half a second, so let's use 0.2, and there's going to be no start delay. Looping is this just running over and over again, so let's stop that. Start lifetime is how long the particles will live for. Let's have that be between, let's say, 0.2 to 0.3 seconds. Let's click on play, and there was only one particle, which is way too less. So locate emission and change the rate, which is the 10 particles per second, to, and we have got 0.2 second, 0.2, let's just say 400 particles, should be around 80 particles per second. Okay, this is good. That's exactly what I was looking for. Now I want the start size to vary. One is way too much for me, so start size between, let's say, 0 0.1 and 0 0.5. Let's see how that looks. Okay, that's perfect. Now we only have one color at the moment, white. I want to use red as well, so let's change between color of the balloon, which was reddish, kind of reddish, so this should be good. Let's see how that looks. Okay, great, exactly what I was hoping for. And source 3D. There's one thing that I'm worried about, since this effect is associated with the arrow. um, it won't look like the balloon burst. The effect might move with the arrow. Let's see what happens. If that happens, I'll either try to find a solution right now, or add a little bit at the end of the video to see how that can be mitigated. But for now, this all should be good. Now there's one more thing that we need to turn off. Right now the effect will play at the very start, which is not what we want. We want the effect to play when balloon bursts. So I'll turn this off. Now this should this that's all that I needed here. The renderer, you can change the, you can use, experiment with, like, you can use boxes, you can use circles, spheres. I want it this way, so it works for me. Yep. Now let's go back to the code and trigger this effect. For that, we'll first need a way to access this burst effect, so let's create a serialize field variable, which is of the type particle system, and let's call it burst effect, and let's assign it. Okay, let's go to arrow, balloon buster, there's the burst effect, drag and drop this effect here. So far so good. Now we want to play this whenever there is a collision. So there is a collision here. On trigger, we go inside and play the burst effect. Alright, so let's see if that loads. Okay. Great. Let's go back and let's see if we can play this. Simulator. Oh, perfect. I really love that. But I did move with the arrow. Uh, but yeah, that's the kind of effect I was hoping for. That's really good. What I want to do is see if I can make the effect static, just make it look like the balloon burst. The burst effect is moving. Is there a static option here somewhere? Start, delay, gravity, emission, shape, renderer. Maybe the renderer will have billboard. No, material, sort, motion vectors, force, no motion. Let's see what that does. No, that didn't work. Okay, let's remove that, undo that then. But it looks pretty good, so I have what I wanted for now. In a different video, I'll probably try to see how we can have the burst be static, but for now this works. Thank you for watching the video, and do press that subscribe button. Thank you.